kind of covered by James, but just to consider how the new market dynamics drives the customer wants, which are aligned to the agent's needs, and how this translates to the business gets. So if we take a look at some of the customer wants, so this is about enabling conversation, as we've just been discussing, across any channels, across apps, across devices, being able to complete transactions quickly and efficiently, and using self-service. From an agent's perspective, to do so, they need all channel communications and the ability to be able to move across these inherently. And it's really important that agents have access to converse with their colleagues and the brokers and the customers and the prospects. And automation, as we said, is becoming a key driver there, and something my colleague will pick up on during the demo. And what we see from the business, what the business gets from that is, the growth in contact with your customers, higher completion rate, revenue growth, less issues, higher customer satisfaction, and lower operating costs, which, as we've discussed, is absolutely key. Also, very much important, know me, understand me, be able to help me. That's very important here now. The data, as James said, there's data in silos everywhere, huge amounts of data, but being able to capture that data and feed it through to the agents so that they're able to assist efficiently, but also to consider upsells and cross-sells and other information that would help not only keep the customer happy, but help them, spend more time and money with you. Strong customer relationships, what the insurance industry specifically, although it goes across other sectors as well, we're looking for repeat sales and increased positive contact rate, and also importantly, brand image. All of this needs to be safe, in the current climate. Operation models are changing, people working from home, but from wherever they're working, consumers and agents need to know that the data is safe. The agent needs to know that they're adhering to the GDPR, the MiFID II, etc. And the business needs regulatory compliance, to ensure, as James said, the regulator is made some exceptions to start with. It was a whole new world, but time's moving on, operation models are changing, and compliance is expected. Thank you. So the new digital-driven insurer is customer-centric, proactive, and competitive organisation that delivers a unique and energizing, engaging experience to customers, agents, and brokers. And here we see the Microsoft Customer Engagement Platform at the core of the digital transformation, with ISV Connect partners such as Solgari and Traviata, adding greater value around the 360-degree view of customer, broker, and prospect. Let's take a look at this from a different angle. I'd like to welcome my colleague Martin Smit from Traviata. Martin, can you share with us your experience of working with insurers from an enterprise architecture point of view?
Absolutely, Tamara, thank you. And to all attendees, thank you for being there and sharing your valuable time with us in this transformational times, I would say. Indeed, as you know, Tamara, we are a company who's been in the insurance industry for a longer time, working with services and solutions for that industry. And what we basically have seen is that insurers are struggling to keep up with the pace of the changes that are there, simply because the current systems, sometimes referred to as legacy systems, they are very important to them. They are part of their enterprise architecture, but they were designed in another era, in another time, and they might not always fit the purpose that needs to be, let's say, that is required by the customer. So they're designed for something else, and they do that awfully good, but simply, well, not complying with the requirements we see from today's business. Where we do see changes is that many insurance brokers did investments, but they sometimes were a little bit too much aimed at cost efficiency or operational excellence, where we believe the world goes to customer experience and employee experience. And if we look at what insurers have done there, we do see activity around portals, apps, and thanks also James for making clear to us how many there are, and actually there is room for growth. But very important in that room is to make sure that those solutions are not isolated point-to-point solutions, but become part of a bigger picture, because basically you will need the bigger picture to give the right services to your customers. So we think to improve experience for the customers and your employees, you need a 360-degree view on all actions, all elements, and well, I'm happy with the slide that's on right now. As you can see, it's not only about the context, it has to do with policies, it has to do with claims. And normally I can imagine somebody would be surprised if I talk about claims when I connect that to customer engagement. But one of the moments of truth that is very important for an insurer or a customer is that moment where he has a claim. And it is not all about the outcome of, let's say, the decision, but it's also about being informed, having a status overview, and so on. So yes, there has been investments by insurers and brokers, but maybe the accent should be a little bit different.
Okay, thank you. Sorry, could we just go back to the previous slide, please? Thank you. So we've spoken a lot about customer engagement today, Martin. A word that comes up quite a lot is agile customer engagement. Can you share with me what this means to you?
Absolutely, and to our customers, of course. Well, first of all, agility, basically it's the ability to change. And I would almost say even before it becomes urgent or necessary. Because, yeah, companies do change, but sometimes they change a little bit too late or only because the pressure on them is too high. And we believe the agility we are referring to should be not only in the minds of the people, because that is one aspect, the people should be agile in reacting to change, but you should also have the right technology in place. Technology that is scalable, technology that is extendable without heavy coding or maybe no coding. I think it was Bart who already mentioned that part, where we basically would look at it more from, let's say, a construction point of view, where we can add different elements to a solution. You can put them on, you can put them off, you can have that architecture, what is necessary for that period in time. So it makes you much more agile if you would have like a platform with different solutions in that platform than having a monolithic big solution which is not so, let's say, flexible and not so agile. So that is what we mean with agility, and of course, like mentioned before, focused on customer engagement.
Thanks, Martin. And finally, can you share any best practices that you've uncovered in the work that you've been doing in the insurance sector?
Yeah, absolutely. Sure, I can. And tomorrow I could tell a story about it. But, you know, I think in this time of the presentation where we are, we've shared many insights. And I think it's about time that we show something of what we do. Indeed, working with insurance carriers and brokers for many years, doing projects with them has learned us a lot. And we see a lot of similarity. Every company is unique. We accept that. But I would like to hand over to our teammate Rob, where we start to introduce what we have prepared for showing the best practices instead of talking about it. If that is okay for you, Tamara.
Perfect. Fantastic. Thank you, Martin.
Rob.
Thank you very much. Thanks very much for that, Martin and Tamara. Great intro. Very interesting to listen into James and Bart as well, coming into the live demonstration. Kate, if you don't mind flicking to the next PowerPoint, please. So just with regards to today and in relation to our demonstration, firstly, my name is Rob Henley. I'm the head of product marketing at Solgari, so I'll very much be focusing on the Solgari aspect of it. But because of the way we've pulled together today's webinar, it's going to be myself and Bjorn taking the lead here, with Bjorn looking very much at the top layer here, which is that full CRM and insurance specific capabilities. So what we mean by that is we're going to look at Traviata in action inside Dynamics 365. And what you'll actually see as part of his use case is Solgari in action also from the communications element. After that, he's going to hand back to me, and I'm going to show you a bit around and talk a bit around our full integrated channel capabilities. So working across voice, video, SMS and more, along with the very important contact center functionality, which in the insurance and financial services industry is very, very important. Looking at queuing, call recording, all of those important things. And then we'll briefly touch upon the compliance side of things. So PCI DSS compliance around payments, call recording and communication recording, and all of those things that are very important to our customers in the insurance sector. Last thing that, before I hand over to Bjorn, is just there's two grey elements here, the all business function support and immediate cloud deployment. This is something that's been touched upon a little bit by Bart and across a few parts of the previous speakers, but it's the big thing here around cloud is that it does lead to much quicker deployment, which is very important, obviously, with everything that's going on with COVID, but beyond that. And also the benefit of cloud is that scalability. And all business functions, for what we mean there is that your sales team, your back office team, your support teams can all be on the same solution, particularly from a Solgari perspective, for the communication side of thing, which makes it a much more coherent solution. So at this point now, I'm going to hand over to